we're going to segue to the Caps, guys,
okay.
and we didn't have a chance to get their free agent grades. LeVar, we'll start with you on Caps. What overall grade would you give for the Capitals, who were the highest spenders in the NHL in free agency?
It's really difficult to say from my perspective. I will say that they did address the needs that they had to. They got defensive men, and which, in my opinion, everybody talked about how this team is so strong outside, but inside they're not, and they've needed teams that win build from the inside out, and it doesn't seem like that's what's taking place with the Caps. So they addressed a clear need, and with their new head coach, with the way his coaching reputation is, it sounds as though he may be able to get the most out of the guys that they've added. So it's a wait and see approach, but since I don't really know how that's going to pan out based off of so many moving pieces with a new GM, a new head coach, I'd say a B.
B?
Yeah, sure.
Mike, what do you think?
I'll say B+. And I know that's not in line with a lot of the Stanley Cup. A lot of the people in hockey think that the Orpik thing was a disaster.
Right, that they overpaid.
Yeah, overpaid and
too many years.
Sure. And what I liked about it, and in a weird way, George McPhee's got to be sitting around going, why didn't we spend this money in the offseason when I was here?
Right.
But I feel like this is the kind of the one thing that's been lacking from this team every postseason that I've seen it is just another level of grit, another brand of toughness. And when you have that guy in the crease that can knock a goal in, like if they would have got Knuble 5 years before they got him, or somebody like that, or Jason Arnott 5 years before they got him, like that guy. I don't know if our Orpik is that guy, but I do know that he's a defenseman that's a defensive defenseman, and that's important. You don't need an offensive defenseman like Mike Green anymore.
Yeah, you can't deny that the defense is better. The question is, did they spend too much for it? Dan, what do you think?
Yeah, those guys were two of the defensive stalwarts for a Pittsburgh team that has been disappointing a couple years in a row in the playoffs. So, just having those guys is not any kind of guarantee for going far in the playoffs.
But they don't have an Ovechkin to go with them.
Well, they've got a Crosby and a Malkin.
They got a Malkin, but Crosby can't seem to stay healthy.
I would say B-, and I think that you can be happy with what these pieces mean for 2014, but you have to, when you're grading for agency, you have to think about what it means in 2016, 2017. Paul Pierce is great for 2 years. Would he be great for 4 years? Probably not. And this Orpik, he seems to have been...
But you can play older in hockey.
You can, you're right. And he's younger than Pierce, but he seems to have already been in decline. And I don't think you can assess...
Whatever happened with Grabowski? What did they do with him?
Well, they still need a second center. That's one of the questions.
He's in Long Island.
He went somewhere else.
Long Island, the Islanders.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying they all they talked about was a second line center that they needed him forever.
And shoring up the defense.
the moment they had a chance to resign him, they didn't resign him.
They didn't have any money to.
Right.
They spent it all in Pittsburgh.